Hello, and welcome to Consciousness at Play, where every episode leads you on a journey of self-discovery. Today, we're joined by our mutual friend of ours, Chris Enge. Um,
Nice
Welcoming
to be
Chris to
here.
the podcast. Yes, sir. Welcome, welcome,
Nice to
welcome.
be here. Appreciate it.
Yes,
Appreciate it.
sir. So as everyone may know, early in the week, we experienced the residual effects of the Canadian wildfires in Nova Scotia. And to be quite honest, it had the city on the East Coast specifically looking a little spooky. So I mean, it was literally like an orange tint when you walked outside, and the sun even looked a little bit different. And so yeah, man, I just felt like this was something that, just happened in the news, and just kind of wanted to see how you guys felt about it, what your experiences were like, and yeah, just anything that kind of was on your
Yeah,
mind going through it.
yeah,
For sure.
and yeah, happy to have you, Chris. Met
No,
this guy
man.
over
It's a pleasure,
eleventh, third
man.
grade, but
Yeah, since the beginning, man.
I had to add that little sprinkle in there. But
Yeah.
I remember when I saw the wildfires happening, I reached out to everybody in my family, like, Jesus Christ, guys, drink extra water, stay hydrated. It was kind of like it was very eerie feeling, even though my skies weren't exactly orange. It was kind of eerie,
Right.
like, damn, what are my friends and family back east dealing with? Like, what was
Yeah.
y'all experience actually like breathing it in and navigating it?
So like for me personally, I was just outside randomly, and it smells like somebody was grilling. Like it smells like somebody's
Mm,
grilling food. And like our neighbor has a grill. So I'm thinking like he's grilling or whatever. And I'm looking up and I could just tell the sky is like not clear, but I didn't know if it was just cloud. I didn't know exactly what it was. So like, but like you feel you feel it like the air being a little different. You know what I'm saying? Like you kind of feel a little being different. And like so with having a daughter, like I was just like, yo, we should probably go inside, like because
yeah,
it doesn't feel or smell right. And it's just crazy. Like you look around and you can see all these like professional sports, like canceling things, and like the New York bridge, bro. One of the bridges were like you couldn't even see. Like
Hmm.
you couldn't even see. So it was like it was wild just to see that, like for me.
Yeah,
yeah.
for me, I mean, it was same. It was just like something's different. At first, honestly, I thought it was like an overcast. I thought it was about to rain. But then, like
Right.
Chris said, it smelled like fire, and
Yeah.
it smelled so potent that you thought it was like, I don't know, a neighboring state like Jersey or Boston or something like that.
Yeah.
Come to
Yeah.
find out, it's in Canada, and I'm like, whoa, like. I mean, I've heard wildfires before. California gets it all the time, but I never heard anything in the news where like the canceling flights, like you said, sporting events. You
Yeah.
can barely see outside, and so I just knew it was something different in the air. And now I'm seeing people mask up, back up again, and I'm like, oh no, that's not good. Like we
Yeah.
just, what I mean, got out the woods with COVID and whatnot, and now we're back to wearing masks. And so I was just like, damn, here we go again.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, and I hopefully it makes people have a little bit of gratitude towards like clean air, like simple shit that we take for
Right,
granted
right. Yo,
here
for
in the
real though.
USA.
For real though. For real though.
Because some people really live where their air quality is horrible almost all the time. We're just getting a
Yeah.
taste of it for like a few days. Like
Yeah.
it's
Dave,
crazy.
Dave, let me ask you a question. I mean, not to make you like out to be the person with the alternative theories on the podcast or anything, but like, did anything come to mind where like, you know, maybe this is something beyond wildfires, or like, I don't know, just do you think there was like more to this? Did it ever cross your mind that there was more to the story?
Like something nefarious, like a
Eh,
nefarious character burning
maybe
down woods in Canada type of deal.
not that
Uh,
specific, but yeah,
not
anything.
necess- not
Okay.
necessarily. I think it's just the technicality of the earth being warmer, the soil isn't as wet as it normally is, things are dried
Mhm.
up, so the landscape is just way easier for wildfires to happen. Like,
Sure.
Well, let me ask y'all something. Like, is it that I want to say is it that much of a surprise? Because like you said, we usually get like wildfires, like you hear it on the West Coast, like Cali and stuff like that. So Canada, it is a little, raise your eyebrow or whatever the case may be. But it's like, are we surprised with like Mother Nature doing these type of things with like all global warming going on with over the last few years, probably last decade, as far as like, yo, it's like warm in December in Jersey. You know what I'm saying? Like you have random warm days. You got, random cooler days like spring starts summertime, or it feels like summer's taking forever to start because of weather. You never know what you're getting. So it's like for them to hear the wildfires and to see, just another cause and effect of like Dave was saying, like we just got a little taste of this type of mother nature on the East Coast, but people breathing that type of air almost every day elsewhere. You know what I mean? Like, which is wild.
Hey, y'all take this how you want, but in my opinion, until we start to take care of the earth, you ever notice how when you're sick, you have high and low temperatures? Like you have a kid, Chris, so I'm sure if she ever gets flu or anything like that, her
Right.
temperature's gonna rise.
Absolutely.
And imagine the earth is essentially its own thing. So the more humans just make it sick, it's gonna have fevers.
Yeah,
It's gonna have
right.
really
Exactly.
cold temperatures to try to get rid of the sickness, which is maybe humans. So,
yo, for real though.
So until we
Yeah,
take some responsibility, bro, I don't see these type of things happen. We
Things
just gotta be
changing.
resilient.
Yeah.
yeah,
So
no, Chris, I think you bring up a good question and a good point though. Like, because I mean, there are a lot of people who believe climate change is fake news. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
for people here on the East Coast who are used to the 5 seasons, we can definitely tell when something's off. When like you said, is cold in the summer, or seasons are just not starting when they're supposed to. So,
Right.
yeah, I definitely think this is a testament to like the current condition that the Earth is in. And yeah, man, it's just crazy because I feel like we're the generation that has to kind of like take the onus and like try to do something if we want to live, raise our kids in the future. So it's like it's real. This is really real for us.
Right. No, for real. Because climate change is real too. Like for those that don't believe, like I work within like the logistics industry, so like we're constantly like talking about climate change because it affects the supply chain. So it's like, when the CO2 on all these trucks that you see passing by, all these tanks and stuff like that, all that's polluting in the air. Like all that, is not good to just be in the air. But it is a real thing. Like I don't want people to think that like climate change is not real. That is real. It is
and
really real.
and I just want to add, like, because I am the health and wellness dude, and like Jahad alluded
You
to
are?
earlier, I may have some ideas that are a little bit far out.
You what?
So I say that to say, like, when we like, my opinion on climate change, I just want to add is like a lot of people have their own like ideas when they talk about climate change. We need everybody to stop eating meat or driving cars, all these different things. But honestly, like if you have cows grazing on grass, they're gonna pull out so much CO2. So there's so many natural ways to pull out and fix climate change. And but anyway, I think we do all have the responsibility because I mean shit, we are the adults now. And we're at the age where everybody's a lot of people are millennials.
Yeah,
So this is on
yeah,
us.
yeah, bro. I'm
Uh
almost 30 now, so it's about time we start laying the foundation or trying to. If we want change, we gotta start it. You feel me? Like
Facts.
we at
Amen.
that we at that stage.
Facts. Um, but let's talk about Zion, man. What's going on, JB? I know that there's some juicy
Oh boy.
or
Oh boy.
some stuff going on.
Zion Williamson. Man, listen. Yeah, so for those who are not really familiar with Zion Williamson, he was selected as the #1 overall draft pick in the 2019 draft. And since college, Zion has been touted as one of the next generational athletes. Before playing his first day of professional basketball, Zion was signed to a contract worth over $75 million with Nike's Jordan brand. And so he plays for the New Orleans Pelicans. And as I said before, he was drafted #1. And so he has high expectations. But unfortunately, since being drafted, this guy has barely played a full season of basketball. And it's been, 3-4 years now. So a lot of, fans are wondering like, yo, when's Zion getting back on the court? Is he healthy? Is he in shape? And now, we're kind of hearing some scandalous news about this boy. You know what I mean? It has nothing to do with basketball too. That's the worst part about it. So, yeah, man, for those who don't know, a porn star came out on Twitter after finding out Zion was a father, soon to be father. And she kind of put his business out there. She aired his dirty laundry, kind of just exposing how they had a secret relationship. She has screenshots, the receipts to prove it. Zion talking about, how much do I got to pay you, You know what I mean? Like how much when I buy a house for you or whatever, like where do you want it? Blah blah blah. So it's just like I feel like nowadays we're starting to see athletes in the news for the wrong stuff. You know, whether it's Ja Morant, whether it's Zion, whether it's Kyrie Irving. And so this is just a topic that I wanted to bring to the pod because I know all of us are basketball fans. And you know what I mean? We want to see Zion and Ja Morant being the best that they can be on the court and off the court. So yeah, man, when this came in the news, when you guys, you know, heard about this, what was your first takes?
See, like I have a hard time with this, guys, because it's like Dave knows this too. Like with me, when it comes to not just like basketball players, any athlete, like I want them to just like we're asked to do in our everyday lives, like do your job. Like I just want you to do your job. Whatever you sign on the dotted line, whatever what it consists of, you have to live, you have to abide by, right? So to hear that, like you were mentioning, Ja and now Zion having off the court, news, it just kills me, especially in this moment, because it's like, bro, it's like, all right, Zion, you make all this bread. You ended up getting somebody, I guess, that you don't want to have start a family with pregnant. And now you're talking about is like, yo, what I got to do to keep you quiet or what I got to do to get rid of it, basically. Which, he's not the first one. He's not the only one. He's not going to be the last one. But it's like, why put yourself in this predicament? Why put yourself in this situation when you're not even doing your job? So now you're creating something for the media to talk about, which athletes don't like the media, and I have pros and cons on why I feel like that's why they shouldn't and why I don't think it's a big deal. But now you're giving outsiders an insight on not what you've been up to that doesn't consist of your job. Obviously, you have a life outside of sports, but it's just like, bro, like I feel like you have to be more responsible as an athlete, especially an athlete that people are almost considering as a bust now, like almost as a bust, because it's like, bro, you're not playing, right? You're not playing. So we see you doing all these windmills and warm ups and stuff like that. But when your team needs you, bro, you're not there. But now we hear, oh, you have a baby by a woman that you barely even know. So it's like, like I can't get with it, bro. I can't get with it because I'm a regular dude. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying money doesn't change people. I don't feel like money changes people. I feel like money just brings out on who you really are. That's what I feel like money
That's
does.
fact.
But
Yeah.
And Dave, before you kind of hop in, I just want to put into context. I mean, basketball is an 82 season game, and Zion his first season played 24 games. Second season he played 61. Third season back down to 29. Like I said, it's an 82 game season. So just for our listeners, it's like this guy's barely on the court, but we hear about him off the court, and you know what I mean.
we
Just
hear
Yeah.
for
about him on the
reasons.
bench, JB. We hear about him on the bench. So it's like, come on, John. Like why? Like what are we doing? What are
Yeah.
we
And I
doing?
mean, and he seems to be overweight all the time. Like that's the main thing people will say. Like as a basketball player, you got to be in some type of shape to run up and
Right,
down.
right.
And he
For a
seems like
long
he
season.
for a long season, right?
Right.
Right. So it looks like he just hit dopamine overload, just eating whatever you want, the greatest at tasting foods. He got these. If you see the pictures of these, if you guys see the pictures, like I didn't know what this girl that was putting him on blast looked like, but she looked like she definitely had some work done. Like if you guys see
See,
the
man.
pictures at all,
Yeah,
See.
and I was gonna
Yo,
say,
yo,
what's up?
I haven't. Go ahead, Jay. I
No,
have not.
I was just gonna say, Chris, like, especially as a football fan, you know what I mean? With like
Yeah.
basketball having guaranteed contracts, like, do you think this affects players' like behavior or as far as like trying to like, you know, play up to their contract?
Yeah. So like the whole guarantee, like you'll see a lot of like, especially in football, like guys, holding out, and you even got rookies. Like now, rookies get drafted, and they hold out on their contract. They ain't even play for the team yet. They haven't even been to the freaking locker room yet. You know what I'm saying? And they're holding out for want to make sure their guaranteed money is there and stuff like that to protect themselves and try to make sure they can invest in their future, which I'm all for. But it's like, man, I feel like when we start getting into this guaranteed money, it's kind of getting too far now and almost I can definitely speak for basketball and football. I'm not exactly sure on every other sport. Baseball's pretty lengthy contracts, but like, especially in those two sports, like football, I can understand more though, because it's like it's more physical, taxing impact on your body. Basketball's physical is crap too, but it's like football is real, like combative. You know what I'm saying? It's like some gladiator shit. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's like that. So it's like to try to make sure it's like, hey, whether I'm hurt or whether I'm not, I need to be promised this. I can understand it more in a combative sport, more so than in a sport where you need to be in like more so of a shape, cardio, like more cardio is. You know what I mean? Like that's more how I look at basketball. But it's just like, I don't know. It is messing up a little bit though, I could say. It is.
Yeah,
It
How
it
would you
is.
just it
say?
just what's up, Dave?
How could you fix it?
Shoot. I don't know the ins and outs of like, contracts and all that stuff like that. But I don't know. Just my perspective is that like when you sign the dotted line and you haven't played a lick of basketball yet, but you're guaranteed $75 million, and that's not even your rookie contract, you're already $100 million athlete and you're 19 years old. I can't imagine what the world feels like to you. You know what I mean? Like you can have
Right.
anything. 19 years old, $100 million.
Could you imagine?
Come
What was you
on,
doing at
man.
19, yo? What was y'all doing at 19? I know it
Bruh.
wasn't getting $100 million.
Definitely
Nah,
wasn't getting
definitely
$100
not a
million
hundred.
dollars, but I
You
was I
know?
was definitely I was definitely walling in my own regard. You know what I mean? So I can only imagine with $100 million. Come on, bro.
Right,
I'm
right.
driving several cars. I'm flying people
Yeah,
out. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
I get it. I get it to a degree.
yeah. I think Dave, like you were saying, like how do you fix it? I don't know if there is a fix because this is how I look at, the two primary sports that I watch is, basketball and football. So basketball, I look at it as the players have too much power. Football, I look at it as players have no power, right? So
Mm.
like I feel like the players are fighting for more in the NFL than they are in the NBA. And it goes deep into like on reasons why, but there's really no fixing it because athletes are getting smarter, bro. Athletes are getting smarter. They feel a more sense of empowerment, whether they have it or not. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Hmm.
like there's no fixing it, and that's why you see like owners, GMs, like being mad at certain trades, like because they know if you give one, like you give Deshaun Watson in the NFL that type of contract, he hasn't even played, coming off a mad scandalous and all this other stuff. He hasn't even played for your team. You give him $200 million guaranteed, the whole league is now pissed off because it's like now you're starting something that we're not trying to even begin and we can't finish. You know what I mean? So you're starting a trend. That's why, it's not, you can't fix it, bro. It's too late. It's over.
Interesting.
It's over.
But I mean, they are the product. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
they make their own
Yeah.
price. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
think that
Yeah.
that is a good thing for the players per se, but not from a fan and a viewer and a follower of basketball standpoint. Because then people can just
Yeah.
take advantage, and then it just doesn't put out the best product possible.
Yeah.
Because I they broke down Duncan Robinson's he's a player from the Miami Heat, his contract. He said signed for like 75 mil or a pretty high amount, but he's
Mhm.
losing a lot, like half of that contract, just because he's not starting and playing a certain amount of minutes. So these contracts do have a lot of
Stipulations.
The
stipulations
incentives,
within
the
them.
incentives, and all that stuff too. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you can lose a lot of money if you're not playing, although you did sign a contract worth, say, 100 million. But
That's
the thing
true.
about
That's
Zion
true.
is he probably had so much leverage, and being in that position, he should take advantage of such leverage and say, "Hey, I want all this money, no matter I'm playing or not. I'm that guy."
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
I would do that. I mean, if I was your agent,
Absolutely.
Chris or Jihad, I would tell you guys to do the same thing. Let's get this money.
Right.
Yeah.
It's logical.
Right.
Yeah.
One of the things that like I was thinking about to myself is that I said as we observe basketball athletes from prior generations, the 80s, 90s, and we compare them to the athletes of today, it seems as though modern day athletes have greater reach and bigger platforms that can potentially impact the way we move as a society through social issues or just like social media, right? During the 90s, Jordan, Magic Johnson in the 80s, they didn't have social media. They didn't have, Instagram Live and these things to sort of get themselves in trouble. So it's just like when you're a 19-year-old and you have 20 million followers or whatever it is, and your impulse is to like, I'm on live, I'm lit. You know what I mean? Like, let
Yeah.
me broadcast how my day is going. There's more chance to, F up, so to speak. So Do you think guys like social media is something that should be like, I don't know, monitored on the athlete's behalf? Like, do you think athletes should have control of their social media, or do you think they should just move a little bit more intelligently, like a LeBron, or like, you know, players that you don't see in the news for the wrong reasons?
That's in my opinion, that's on them. So you make the decision to have somebody monitor it so you can make sure you get paid X amount. And somebody should be in your team to say, hey, let's monitor it. Or don't have monitor it at all, because it's your kind of choice at the end of the day. You can be as wild as you'd like, because losing money is losing money. It depends upon how much money matters to you in your hierarchy of values. But obviously, from the
Exactly.
outside looking in, dude, you're losing out on hundreds of millions of dollars. But to be honest, if any of us got paid, say, $20 million, we'd be good for like, maybe 20, 40, 50, maybe the rest of our life. You know what I mean? If you pay
Absolutely.
yourself 100, 150, 200K, you could live a comfortable, solid life, vacations, take care, etc. So I think sometimes with athletes from the outside looking in, we get like, yo, you missing out on this and that, but really they hit the jackpot already. If anything, it's just play
Absolutely.
money.
Absolutely, bro. Hit the jackpot. I mean, it's like I'm to the point with athletes where it's like, Jay, you want to touch on the 80s and 90s versus today as far as social media outlet and everything like that. I think that's a good thing to speak upon because it's what it goes deeper than just what am I looking for? Like, you can follow my life behind a camera. You know what I'm saying? Like I look at it for not just only, I can feel more in touch with the guys that I look up to, the guys that I like watching and respect and everything like that. But I look for it as it's like, okay, how are you using the platform though? Not just for me to feel closer to you or to be able to, try to learn and replicate your craft or whatever the case may be, but how are you using your platform for something that actually matters outside of sports? You know what I'm saying? Because back in the 80s and 90s, like my mom always told me, like she's a diehard Michael Jordan fan, but she'll be like, he never ever wanted to discuss anything, political or any, social injustice or anything like that. He just wanted to be a basketball player. And I respect that. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's not meant to try to try to uplift the world with the platform that they're given. You know what I'm saying? Just like everybody's not meant to be a leader. Just because you're the best player on the team don't make you a leader. You know what I'm saying? So like I respect, those that want to speak up and those that don't. But for our generation, I feel as if we do so much of a great job with that, not just, social injustice, but supporting HBCUs. Like Chris Paul's heavy in that and has like, a whole cast, a whole crew and a team that supports that and, multiple, not just men, the women players, college and professionals across the world. I like where our generation is at with that stuff. And I think our generation is trying to put the spotlight on what's not being spoken, you know what I mean? Or what's important that's outside of what we're doing in between the white lines. You know what I'm saying? So I respect it. I really do. Really do. So
Makes me curious. In hindsight, how do you guys view the way Kyrie has used his platform?
Uh,
Because for some, it can be quite polarized. So I'm curious what you guys have to say.
Nah, yeah, that's a good question. Kyrie was on my mind the entire time. And I don't know, like it's sort of like, you know, Kyrie, the things that he's been in the news about are like his personal opinions, his personal beliefs. It's not scandalous stuff. You know what I mean? So I personally feel that's okay. And Kyrie's showing up to play. I mean, the COVID thing, that was a whole different, ordeal because it was his personal decision to get the COVID shot or not. But regardless, when he was told, hey, Kyrie, we need you to play, he's playing and he's playing well. He's performing well. So it's like, I don't think it's right to crucify a player like him as opposed to a player like Ja Morant, because
haha.
Kyrie's showing up to do his job, and I mean,
There it is.
uh, I hate to pit those two players against each other if I just did that, but I mean, I got no beef with Kyrie when I look at the
Mhm.
full scope of the picture, because like, yeah, man, people with opposing opinions sometimes can take the view like shut up and dribble. And that's basketball players are more than just athletes. Like they are, they've cultivated their life in a way to entertain us. They're taking care of
Yeah,
their bodies in the off season to
yeah,
entertain us. You know what I mean? To play
yeah,
82,
yeah.
games and in the playoffs, and you know what I mean. I have a high respect for that. But if you can't play because you got suspended because you got a gun, you know what I mean. I can't I can't buy your jersey.
You're right. Bro, I have 2 Ja Morant jerseys. Haven't worn them in a little while, man.
Different.
haven't worn them in a little while, man. Like I'm hurt. I'm really hurt, bro. I'm really hurt because like he's such a spectacular athlete to watch perform, right?
Yes.
So if you want to compare the two between Ja Morant and Kyrie Irving, it's not comparable to me. Like it's not comparable for me because it's like one on one hand, you have somebody that's trying to respect his religion. And, I think at the beginning, it might have been him just becoming, into that religion and practicing the religion and trying to abide by it. And you got people on, television just wilding out. And for me, at first, I kind of had to take a step back and think about it because I'm like, yo, why is Kyrie not like, what's going on? Why is he not playing? Why is he not on the floor? Like, why is he constantly being talked about? He's crazy, this, that, and the third. I think what it is that they look at Kyrie from when he had LeBron to when he didn't have LeBron. And now they're looking at all the actions in between. So anything that occurs is like major for Kyrie Irving. Whatever occurs that doesn't result in winning and performing at a high time great, and it has to deal with not being basketball, it's overblown. It's way overblown. It really is. And you see the guy still going crazy during Ramadan. Dude ain't even eat. Like, dude, Kyrie Irving not even eating, and he's still, playing the greatest players in the world, giving them 30. Like, but people want to talk about how
his personal beliefs,
bro, versus a guy that is actually hindering his team by putting negative attention. Kyrie's not putting negative attention on his team. Right? If anything, if you want to say he's putting negative attention somewhere, it's on himself, but it's not negative attention. Ja Morant is bringing negative attention to the organization, bro. Like to the organization, and that is something that you really can't get with because now, and he did it more than once.
But he's just a kid listening to music, and he's embracing the music, guys. I mean, like,
listen, you don't gotta play. Listen here now.
Hey, you give your spiel. I'm just saying, he's just a young guy. They need to let him.
That was a toy. That was a toy.
It was a toy gun.
That was a toy.
Right. I believe it wholeheartedly. We need him on the court. Yeah. Why? Especially.
Listen, listen. I mean, out of that draft class, that top 3, I had wished the Knicks got a chance at Zion and Ja Morant. But looking at it in hindsight, RJ Barrett looking like that blue chipper, man. He looking like that. He looking like he should have been the number 1 pick.
Yo, listen, for the Knicks, Jahad, Ja can have as many guns as he wants for the Knicks, bro.
Right. Are you kidding me?
He can have as many guns. Zion can sit as many games.
Listen, I don't know, man. Dolan is wild. Dolan's wild, man. Listen, as long as the Garden, you're right, Chris. As long as the Garden's selling out, you know what I mean? We can look past certain things.
It's a good time when it's live in there, man.
What? Ja would turn y'all up. Ja is crazy on the court, bro. Same with Zion. JR solid though. At least he showed up to work.
That's what I don't like.
He's not dressing crazy.
He is solid.
I mean, I know we kind of like joking and whatnot, but like this is what I don't like about like outside like New York Knicks fans is that like y'all always make fun of us for not being successful, but then be like, yeah, take a chance on Ja, take a chance on Zion. Like, no, we cannot afford, bro. Listen, we got to keep moving upward, bro. We got good model citizens. I mean, Julius Randle, he's another story, but still, like, we're trying to build a culture here. All right.
Right. I like what y'all cooking over there. I do.
Yeah, I like what y'all cooking too. I got a New York
shirt on right here, but I like what's cooking over there. It's just I feel like something's missing.
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
I feel like something's missing.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we trending in the right direction. Fingers crossed.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, what y'all think about the finals, though? What's your opinions on what's going on and how much Jokic and Denver Nuggets of all teams are dominating? Because people out here are bored watching.
Because they don't know basketball. Right. The people that were excited to see this series is because they don't really love the ins and outs of basketball. Because it's not going to be Denver versus Miami. You want to say there's not, there's no names in there, but there's at least three crazy names in this series, which is Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, and Jimmy Butler. You could throw Bam in there as the fourth, but he's not on my hierarchy on there. But you could throw him in there too. These are really two really good teams, right? With two really good coaches. I think Spoelstra is the best coach in the league, but I think two really good coaches. And in my eyes, with all that being said, Miami's still lucky they didn't get swept. They still lucky they didn't get swept, bro. With all that being said, bro, I'm a diehard LeBron fan and cheering for the Lakers, bro. We had the best defense in the second half of the season. Had no answer for them, bro. They swept us. Had no answer, bro. And that's where I just tipped my hat off, like, yo, you got it. Everybody like, yo, you not mad? Hell no. Why am I mad? Why would I be mad? Like, you're not mad losing to a better team. You know what I'm saying? You can't be mad losing to a better team. And Jokic and Murray might be the best duo in the league, bro. Like, it is what it is. They might just be the best duo in the league when healthy.
Yeah, and I love Porter's a 20-point scorer. Gordon, bro, they put together amazing roster.
Amazing roster. You hear Bruce Brown saying nobody wanted him in free agency. Now I'm looking, I'm like,
did y'all watch? Did y'all watch him on the Nets?
Yeah,
he was solid.
Yeah. Now that's the thing I like about the finals. Like what y'all talking about is that like these are complete teams. I mean, look at Miami, like Jimmy. I mean, Spoelstra. The ancillary pieces, man. You got Gabe Vincent and Caleb Martin and man, you got these teams that are like contributing in different ways, and you got to tip your cap to it because I mean, a lot of times like the best talent wins, but like when you can build a roster and you got a coach that knows how to get the best out of his players, it's entertaining for pure basketball fans.
Absolutely.
And what's interesting is the NBA has changed, I think, again. And I do have a question for you guys about how the NBA we watch now different from us growing up. I want to ask before we finish because if you look, everybody's doing
six. I'm sorry, I just want to let y'all know we got about 6 minutes. I'll let y'all know. I'm timekeeping.
Oh, okay, excellent. So if you look, everybody's doing the same workouts in the summer. There's no hidden workouts anymore, hidden meal plans. If you want to be nice, have skills, shoot deep, be able to finish around the rim, there's a blueprint, and everybody does it. So now everybody's access to a lot of skills. So putting together a roster and a coach that can really lead and people believe in that coach, it matters a lot. And you see that with the finals. So I don't think it's about just the big names anymore. Like putting together LeBron or Kawhi and AD will equal a championship.
Not no more. Teams are too good. Role players are too good, bro. Role players can take over the game now. Like it's role players, bro. Yes. Like take over. Like a whole quarter is mine.
And listen, we ain't even
seen Bruce.
Yeah. I was gonna say we ain't even seen Tyler Hero this entire playoff series.
They missing him too.
Come on,
they
man.
can really use him.
Come on. This is a 20-point scorer. What, off the bench?
And Jaha Oladipo's been hurt for them too the whole playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, just another guy that can get after it. You know what I'm saying? Not what he once was, but he can still get after it. You know what I mean? So for sure.
And they still made it to the finals because they've been hurt like this whole playoff run. So it just speaks to
Spoelstra and Jimmy that culture, bro.
Culture matters.
That culture matters. Real. That culture is real.
Culture in sports organizations and culture in real life.
And as a Knicks fan, and as a Knicks fan too, I would say even look at how Denver rebuilt from the Carmelo era. Like Jokic, number 2 pick. That pick Jamal Murray, that was the pick that the Knicks traded to him. Look at how they rebuilt that roster, bro. Look at them. They built to last, bro. They built to last.
But this is the thing, Jay. When you get these picks, like people trade for the future, try to get all these picks. That's all cool. You just can't miss. Don't miss. Because now you just got a bunch of picks just to have a bunch of average guys, if that's what you're getting, or bust. You can't miss. If you're going to trade for picks, don't miss. Just don't miss.
That's facts. That's a good point.
Harder said than done.
But, I mean, and look at the chances that they took on, like I said, Porter. Like a lot of people, a lot of teams was kind of off hands with him because of his injury history. I mean, look at the dude. I don't follow Denver too much, but I think there's a dude on the team, Christian Braun or whatever. They said he won the national title. We talking about that culture. You know what I mean? That makes a difference in the locker room when your role player, is used to winning.
Yeah. I do think Mike Malone's a weird dude, but I won't even talk about that. I think
he seems a little. He does seem a little weird. I can get behind
that. He just complained and cried too much about like outside media perspectives and stuff for me. But anyway,
I'm always judging dudes that weren't
anyway,
hoopers sometimes, or like,
yeah,
but either way.
yeah.
So in terms of like this new NBA though, right? Because we're kind of alluding to something that could be the future. Because obviously, like having stars was winning championships with you can count on your fingers how many
Yeah.
years ago. So do you guys like this NBA now, or the one we grew up watching with the Kobe's, the Celtics, the Spurs, like what we grew up as teens and in our like
So
how do you guys
go
feel
ahead,
about the
Jay.
difference?
Good. So I think that's a good question. I think for like as a casual basketball fan, but as a basketball fan watching the game, you know, we kind of idolize these superstars. You know what I mean? They were superheroes. Jordan, you know, LeBron, just doing these things that you're like, Jesus Christ, like this is so beautiful to watch. But I think as an aspiring basketball player, there's more room for you to be like, yo, I may not be a LeBron, but I could be a Bruce Brown. You know what I mean? I can be a contributing piece to winning culture, to championship building. So I think it's ideal for, you know, aspiring basketball players, because not everybody can be the top 1%.
Nah, that's 100%. That's 100% correct. To answer the question, which era, I guess, in the sense of do I prefer? Like Dave, when you ask that, are you talking about like from the 2000s to now, or are you talking about versus
Up
the 80s and
until
90s?
I say up until we finished high school and college, and then after
Okay,
that, I feel like
okay.
the NBA kind of changed 2012,
Yeah,
16.
yeah. So I kind of prefer it how it is, kind of the change of it now. Because
Mm,
again, before then, you had two stars or possibly three. We know you're going to the finals. Like we know.
yeah,
We know you're going to the finals. We don't know who's going no more. Like we can't for sure say. Even next
yeah,
year, people are gonna favor Denver. Are we sure they're gonna go back to the finals with teams getting better in the West? You know the West is loaded. You know what I'm saying?
hmm,
People are gonna get healthier and stuff like that. So, I love today's era of basketball because it's like I feel like the playing field is so much more even. And it's
yes.
not just because Steph and LeBron are older now. I just feel like the teams are just more even,
I love
you
that
know?
take, dude, because
What
it
about you,
makes it
Yeah,
Dave?
exciting. It makes it exciting to watch. I agree. I like this new basketball because it makes it exciting to watch these playoffs. You get to see what
yeah,
everybody's made of, and it's
yeah,
so random who's going to really show, hey, I'm ready for this moment. Let's take it on, let's do it, and who shies away. That's why I love the
yeah.
playoffs. And nowadays I feel like
Love it.
it's so random who you're gonna see.
Yeah.
And I'm enjoying it, man. But I know we're running out of time here. I feel like I could talk to you guys for hours. But Chris, thank you for
Most
coming on,
definitely.
man.
Hey, I
Gotta do it
appreciate
again.
y'all. Most definitely. Please. I appreciate y'all having me on for real.
For sure,
That's
Chris.
for
Thank you.
sure.
Thank you for coming
Appreciate
on.
it.
But yeah,
Absolutely.
guys, thank you guys for listening to another episode of Consciousness at Play. We will catch you guys next week.